The Bold and the Beautiful Tuesday, January 28 recap. Steffy suspects reason for Poppy and Lee's rift. Finn panics. The Bold and the Beautiful B&B. Spoilers recap for Tuesday, January 28 reveals that Steffy Forrester, Jacqueline Massinswood, talked to Ridge Forrester, Thorsten K., and Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Buddig, about Leigh Finnegan, Naomi Matsuda, always being so hard on Poppy Nozawa, Romy Park. Taylor guessed the sisters must have been on good terms once upon a time since Leigh let Poppy live under her roof when John Finn Finnegan, Tanner Novlan, was in college. Steffy suspected something happened around that time that led to the rift between Poppy and Leigh. Even if Leigh and Jack Finnegan, Ted King, couldn't find their way back to each other romantically, Taylor was hopeful about a positive path forward for their family. At Il Giardino, Jack didn't think there was any reason for Leigh to be upset with Poppy now that the paternity test cleared things up. Poppy seemed uncomfortable, but Jack sang her praises and suggested she was a huge help with Finn when she lived with them. Poppy was quick to point out that Finn was self-sufficient and in college, so Jack acknowledged that Finn wasn't a boy. That said, Jack appreciated the way Poppy had been there for Finn so completely. Talk eventually turned to Luna Nozawa's Lisa Yamada, true father, so Jack pushed for answers and assured Poppy she could trust him. Poppy still refused to come clean, but Jack let her know she could open up to him if she ever wanted to. At the hospital, Leigh thought Finn must think she was horrible for carrying all this resentment around and blaming Poppy for something she didn't do. Finn reassured Leigh, but he wished she'd told him about her suspicions sooner so he could have shut them down. Leigh acknowledged that adopted Finn was always embraced by the family, but Poppy had a particularly special connection with him. Since Leigh got in the way of Finn having a relationship with Poppy and Luna, she felt guilty about that. Leigh once again regretted accusing Poppy of betraying her with a man she loved in her own home. Now Leigh realized she should have been grateful to Poppy for stepping up with Finn when she was so busy with work. The topic of Luna's paternity tests came back around, so Finn suggested maybe Tom Starr's Clint Howard liver produced a false negative. Although Finn hinted about running it again, Leigh insisted the test was conclusive. Once Finn was alone, he looked anxious as he mulled over Luna's paternity and all the father candidates that were disproven. Finn couldn't stop thinking about Leigh's question of who Luna's father really was. It seemed like Finn was thinking back and becoming increasingly convinced that Luna might be his daughter. At the Spencer mansion on Tuesday's B&B episode, Luna flashed back to grilling Poppy about her father and getting a freaked-out response. After Luna remembered asking if it was some buried family secret, she was once again left wondering about her dad's identity. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say both Luna and Finn are in for a shock, so we'll bring you more predictions on the next chapter of this story and updates on the jaw-dropping news to come. The drama in Los Angeles reached a fever pitch on The Bold and the Beautiful this Tuesday, January 28, as the tangled web of secrets between the Finnegans and the Forresters unraveled further. Steffy Forrester found herself caught between conflicting emotions, while Finn struggled to keep his world from crashing down. Steffy picks up on the tension. Steffy had been observing the rising tension between her husband Finn and his family, particularly his mother, Leigh Finnegan, and his aunt, Poppy Nozawa. The hostility between the two women had been palpable for weeks, but today the air was thick with something more, something Steffy couldn't ignore. During a chance encounter at Forrester Creations, Steffy found herself in a room with both Leigh and Poppy. She noticed the way Leigh's lips thinned into a scowl every time Poppy spoke, and how Poppy, for all her free-spirited bravado, seemed uneasy under her sister's steely gaze. When Leigh made a sharp remark about people who live in delusions and make a mess of others' lives, Poppy clenched her fists but bit her tongue. That was enough to set off alarm bells in Steffy's mind. Something deeper than sisterly rivalry was at play, and from the way Finn flinched when the subject arose, she suspected he knew more than he was letting on. Finn's panic mode activates. Meanwhile, Finn was trying to keep his cool, but it was becoming increasingly difficult. His entire life, he had known his mother, Leigh, to be a woman of unwavering principles and stern discipline, while Poppy had always been the unpredictable one. But now, it was clear that their animosity ran deeper than just clashing personalities. Back at the Cliff House, Finn had barely settled in when Steffi confronted him. "What's going on between your mom and Poppy?" she asked directly, crossing her arms. "This isn't just about personality differences, there's something more." Finn hesitated. He had spent his whole life looking up to Lai, respecting her for the way she had built herself up from nothing, becoming a top surgeon through sheer determination. But Poppy was a different story. He loved her in his own way, but he had always sensed there were things about her past that she had never fully revealed. "I don't know," Finn said, avoiding Steffi's gaze. "Mom's always been hard on Poppy. It's nothing new." Steffi wasn't buying it. "Finn, I can tell when you're lying, or at least, when you're holding something back." She softened her voice. "Whatever it is, I need to know." Poppy's cryptic confession. Meanwhile, Poppy found herself at El Giardino, swirling a glass of wine and looking uncharacteristically pensive. When Bill Spencer sauntered over, she offered him a tight-lipped smile. "Rough day?" he asked, sliding into the seat across from her without waiting for an invitation. "You could say that," Poppy murmured. Bill leaned in. "Does this have anything to do with the way Lai glares at you like she's about to scalp you with a scalpel?" Poppy let out a humorless laugh. "Lai has always thought I was reckless, irresponsible." She swirled her wine again. "But what if I told you she has secrets of her own?" Bill raised an eyebrow. "Now that sounds like something worth drinking too." Poppy didn't elaborate, but the look in her eyes suggested she was holding onto something big, something that could change everything. Lai issues a warning. Later at the hospital, Lai was finishing up her rounds when Finn caught up with her. He didn't even get a word in before she turned to him, her expression one of thinly veiled frustration. "I know what you're going to ask, Finn," she said sharply, "and I'm telling you, stay out of it." Finn frowned. "Mom, I just don't understand why you and Poppy. She is not the person you think she is." Lee's voice wavered slightly, as if she were struggling to keep her composure. "Poppy's choices have always led to chaos. I won't let that happen to you, or to Luna." Finn's heart clenched at the mention of his cousin. Luna had been caught in the crossfire of whatever was going on between her mother and Lai, and Finn hated seeing her suffer. "If there's something I need to know, just tell me," Finn pressed. Lai exhaled sharply. "Not yet, but soon." Steffi connects the dots. Back at the Cliff House, Steffi sat alone, piecing things together. Poppy's nervousness, Lee's anger, Finn's evasiveness. It all pointed to a single conclusion. There was a secret buried in the past that neither woman wanted to surface, and if Steffi had learned anything from being a Forrester, it was that secrets never stayed buried for long. The question now was, when it all came out, would it tear their family apart?